Hello, and welcome back to episode 56 of the Higher Ed Horizons podcast. I am your host, Sochata, and we are broadcasting live from our studio on this beautiful morning.
It is a wonderful morning indeed, Sochata. Thank you for having me back. I can't believe we've reached 56 episodes already. Time flies when you're talking about the future of our students.
It really does. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that gets my heart racing: innovative teaching methods in higher education. The world is changing so fast, Saroon, and sometimes it feels like the traditional lecture hall is a relic of the past.
You're right on the mark there. For decades, we relied on the sage on the stage model. One person talking, 100 students taking notes in silence. But that model is cracking. It's not enough anymore.
I've heard the term active learning thrown around quite a bit lately. When you hear that, what does it actually feel like in a classroom? Is it just chaos, or is there a method to the madness?
Oh, it's a beautiful kind of chaos. Imagine a room where the professor isn't just reciting facts. Instead, the students are huddled in groups, solving real-world problems. It feels electric. You can literally hear the gears turning in their heads.
I love that image, the electric classroom. One method that seems to be gaining a lot of ground is the flipped classroom. For our listeners who might be new to this, how would you describe the vibe of a flipped course?
The flipped classroom is a total game changer. Students watch the lectures at home, in their pajamas, with their coffee, and then they come to campus to do the homework with the instructor. It turns the teacher into a coach.
I wish I had that back in my university days. I remember feeling so lost during homework, wishing I could just ask my professor a quick question while I was stuck on a problem.
Exactly. That feeling of isolation while studying is a huge barrier to success. By flipping the script, we remove that frustration. The frustration is replaced by collaboration. But it requires a lot of trust between the student and the teacher.
Trust is such a huge component. Let's talk about technology, though. We can't ignore the elephant in the room: artificial intelligence. How are the most innovative professors using AI right now without losing the human touch?
It's fascinating, Sochata. I've seen professors use AI as a personalized tutor for every single student. Imagine an AI that knows exactly where you are struggling and offers a custom hint. It's like having a private mentor available 24/7.
But does that make the professor feel obsolete? I worry that we might lose the soul of teaching if we lean too hard on the silicon chips.
I hear that concern often, but think of it this way. AI handles the repetitive, technical stuff, which frees the professor to do the deeply human stuff: mentoring, inspiring, and challenging the students' ethics and worldviews.
Ah, I see. It's about offloading the mundane so we can focus on the profound. That's a powerful shift.
Precisely. And let's not forget gamification. I visited classes that felt more like an adventure quest than a syllabus. Students earn experience points instead of just grades. They level up their skills.
I can imagine the competitive spirit in the room. It probably makes those dry subjects like statistics or historical dates feel much more engaging.
It really does. I saw a history professor use a role-playing game where students had to negotiate a peace treaty from the 1800s. They weren't just reading about history, they were living the tension of it.
That sounds incredible. It's that emotional connection that makes knowledge stick, isn't it? If you feel the tension, you remember the lesson.
You hit the nail on the head. Emotion is the glue of memory. If a student leaves a classroom feeling empowered or even feeling a bit of healthy struggle, they will carry that lesson for life.
Thoughtful pause. We've talked about the tech and the games, but what about the physical space? I've noticed some universities are ditching the rows of chairs for flexible furniture.
Yes, agile learning spaces. It sounds like corporate jargon, but it's actually about movement. Being able to move your chair, to stand up, to write on the walls. It breaks the mental rigidity of the perfect student persona.
It sounds like we are finally acknowledging that students are humans, not just buckets to be filled with information.
That is the most important innovation of all, Sochata, moving from instruction to empathy, understanding that a student might be tired or anxious or incredibly talented in ways a standard test can't measure.
Warmly. As we start to wrap up this episode, Saroon, what is one piece of advice you'd give to an educator who wants to innovate but feels overwhelmed by all these new tools?
Encouragingly, start small. You don't need $1 million VR lab. Just try one thing. Ask your students for their input. Let them be co-creators of the class. Smiles. Innovation starts with an open conversation, not a fancy gadget.
Inspired. Innovation starts with an open conversation. I love that. What a perfect note to end on.
It was a pleasure, as always. I hope our listeners feel a little more spark in their step today.
I know I do. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 56. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and stay curious.
Goodbye, everyone, and happy teaching.